WWRR, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, WMMZ, Berwick, Bloomsburg, Hazleton, WYCK, Plains.
Powered by Mohegan Sun Poano.
The River, 105 and 103.5.
This is Music on the Menu on the River.
Timothy, where on earth did you go?
Featuring Northeast PA's best artists.
Maybe, never mind. She can move me like the stereo, like a song on the radio. She's an angel in the morning, yeah, that's right.
And now, here's your host, Alan K. Stout.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
All right, everybody. Happy Sunday night. Welcome to Music on the Menu on the River. Alan K. Stout with you as I always am. Sunday nights, 9 to 10 o'clock. Bringing your regional artists from Northeastern Pennsylvania doing their own original music. Hanging out with DC. Taylor, DC, good to see you.
How are you, Alan?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Because as we move through COVID-19, and we got some good news this week from the governor's office that effective around Memorial Day, things are really going to start to open up again in a much bigger way. And we've had guests here in the studio with us now 3 or 4 times over the past month, which is another sign for us anyway, in our little world here. Things are getting back to normal. And tonight in the studio, we have 2 special guests with us, Joe Burke and A.J. Jump, who have both been with us here in the past on the show. But it's great to see you both again, gentlemen. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Alan.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I appreciate it. Great to see both of you. Now, Joe has been on the show before. Matter of fact, Joe, I looked it up. You were here exactly 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
It was May of 2018. You were the guest on the show, 2019, I'm sorry. Yeah. We started playing your music here on the show in the summer of 2018 for the first time. AJ's been on the show with us as recently as maybe a little over a year ago when we were working on the benefit for Brett Alexander, which unfortunately we weren't able to finish because of COVID-19. But you've both been with us before. The reason that Joe is with us here tonight is because Joe Burke and Company, his project, which AJ is a part of, are dropping a brand new tune on Thursday.
That's right.
And you've been periodically dropping songs over the past 6 months or so.
Yep.
We've been playing the Oak Tree track, and we've been playing the Fire track. And now that you got 3, I said to you the other day, why don't you come in and let's talk about everything that's going on with you. So talk to us, first of all, Joe, about the new recordings that you've been sending out, not just to us, but, on social media and all of the platforms, of course, over the past couple of months. This second group of follow-up to the Mystic Immediately record.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities with them. One being that, of course, AJ is drumming on them and was at every part of it, from the pre-production to the recording, to the working to kind of send them out and get them out in the world stage. Same with Brett Alexander. And Paul Smith, we did some of the recording at his studio as well in Northumberland.
That's different this time, right?
That is one distinction.
You did everything at Saturation Acres last time?
We did. And Paul actually did master or helped to master the first record, Mystic Immediately. So he's been involved in some capacity in both. And then we've got Mark Kisinger playing bass on these tracks. And Nike Van Wyk is playing some violin on Fire. He's not on this newer track. But they're kind of a part of a grouping. They'll be released as singles, kind of contained just releases for a while here.
Now, when we were speaking earlier in the week, when we were talking about you coming on the show, you said that whenever you have some ideas, it always begins with a conversation with AJ and with Brett. AJ, talk to us about, your working relationship with Joe as a musician. You met him, I guess, about 3 years ago when he first started recording, right?
Yeah, we actually met at Tony's Wine Cellar.
That's right, man.
I was in. It was longer than that. I was still living in Oregon at the time, and heard him play. I was like, wow, incredible stuff. And then every time I'd come back in, I would pop in and Joe would be there here and there. And then we just started talking and said, hey, he said, I'm going to be making a record with Brett. I'd love you to play drums on it. And I said, sure, absolutely. And the first record was so easy. It just was natural. It came about, and we had this immediate partnership between Brett and I and Joe. And then it was like, when it came time to make the second one, it was just like, let's start producing this together and getting, talking about it, listening to just the acoustic tracks, and it's just so fluid. It's really easy. Brett and I have been doing tracks together for years and years and years, and then Joe kind of came in the fold, and he's one of the easiest artists that we've ever worked with, and then one of the easiest and best people I've ever worked with.
What do you like about his music?
I mean, it's real songs. It's real songwriting. Some people have more of a riff-based thing. Some people have, more of a stylistic-based thing, but Joe's thing is songs. On the last record, we had a track that was reminiscent of kind of like a bossa nova, and a track that was reminiscent of like a shuffle from the 70s. So it's like, but they're good songs, so we just, that's Joe's thing. The songwriting is awesome, and I love being a part of it and playing the drums on them.
Terrific songwriter. Certainly one of the most talented young artists we have here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Let's get that new song on the radio for you right now. This one's called Roads.
Now
this is fine, yeah. He's willing to dream of a contrasting sight, not confine it.
Joe Burke here on Music on the Menu with a song called Ocean. Before that, the brand new single from Joe Burke and Company, a fine song called Roads, making its debut here tonight on the radio. We're hanging out with Joe and A.J. Jump for the entire hour, talking about the new project. They did it at 8 Days a Week recording studio with Paul Smith and Brett Alexander working out on the production. A.J.'s been involved with the project since the beginning, going back a couple of years. Joe is a native of West Pittston. He told us the last time you were on the show, Joe, that you really start getting into the idea of becoming a songwriter as early as your old high school and college band. Mm. And that's when your interest in writing originals began. You had a drummer in the band, I believe, who you said had some recording gear.
Yep.
And that allowed you to, experiment with some of your first early songs. That sort of led to what we talked about last time as well, your style of songwriting. Reflective, introspective songwriter. You said I was listening to it recently. You like to process things and then that turns into your inspiration. Mm-hmm. Has that changed at all since you were with us a couple of years ago when we first started talking about your songwriting, or is that still your model?
In term lyrically, I would say that that says it pretty well. I think, I think oftentimes I might even be writing about the process of processing something. Rarely am I actually coming out on the other side with some resolution. I think I may try to fill every song with hints of uncertainty and hope at the same time. But yeah, I would say that sums it up as kind of going through life with a process of kind of active reflection and then considering that through songwriting. Are there particular things in particular that tend to inspire you to write? I would say that my experiences, one thing I've heard people say is that with how much everybody's been inside, they couldn't wait to see what music comes out on the other side of this. And for me, that's not really true, because I think that when I've written the music that I am the most grateful for on the other side of, it's usually based on interactions that I have with people, out in the world. Yeah. And so I would say that, around this time last year, I was writing quite a bit, which we were only about 2 months into our lockdown and everything. And I think that some things that I was writing about then were not kind of a wanting to go back to the way things were, but figuring out how to move forward, knowing that you've been changed by an experience. And that was sort of what I was taking away from the way that the pandemic was affecting us. We were still so close to what once was that you wanted it to just go back there. But the better consideration was probably to think about how you can move forward, knowing what you know now and how you've been affected by it, if that makes sense. Yeah. No, it totally makes sense. I mean, everybody has a different perspective on, and everybody handled this differently. Yeah. AJ, we did a podcast with AJ last year, not long into it. It was a couple weeks in when we were still just trying to get our head around the whole thing and where are we going from here? Yep. AJ, I remember shooting you a text maybe last August or so when Oak Tree came out, just telling you how much I loved your drumming on the track, because it was noticeably
cool. You know, I'm not a professional drummer.
I agree.
So I don't know the technique to use to describe it, but it's just a noticeably cool rhythm. You know, how do you go about when a songwriter like Joe, I assume, presents you with a track that he's written on an acoustic guitar, bringing what you bring to the music? I don't think I've ever asked you that before. and you've been here for King Radio, and we've been playing Underground Saints for years.
I mean, I've always thought about it as, you know, as a player and how I was brought up and learned from others older than me was to serve the song. I'm not there for me. I'm there to support the song, to support the music, you know, and so that's basically how I look at it every time in the process, no matter what it is. You know, I'm not looking at it as like, well, what can I do to sound cool and what can I do to stand out? No, I mean, I'm looking at it like I listen to the song and I'm cueing off the different vocal rhythms and I'm cueing off the sort of timbre of the voice or the emotion that the song gives. I'm going to give more emotion. Just general things like that. That's how I go about my process. You know,
no, that's a talent.
I appreciate that. It's just that was one thing that I, you know, recording, been given the opportunity to record with a lot of different people over the years, and like I said, working with Brett, I was able to hone my craft doing that, you know, at Brett's studio, just being exposed to all these different artists coming in, you know, week in and week out for a while. I was in there almost once a week recording with somebody different, and I learned how to do that. And, you know, it's a whole other thing than learning how to play live or you know, it's a whole other animal. And I'm thankful. And that's how I met Joe, you know, through doing that. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
It's a great partnership you guys have. Let's play another track from Joe Burke. This is one of the newer ones. This one's called Fire.
Second word for the day. Circling the name you found and bearing the array. 'Cause now all the things you felt have shown up. All the ways the wind can go, but you hold out the flame. La 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 la, la la la. La 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 la, la la la. La 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 la, for reasons that you can't explain in some mixed up way, you seem to reframe images you haven't seen in a way that makes things oh so hard. Wander around, wondering why things fall apart. All of these wars you've waged inside left you awkward, dreaming and aging, joining every single night with disappointing reasons to have fear. For reasons that you can't explain in some messed up way, you seem to remain avoidant of what you mean when you say you've been searching for yourself and someone who knows just how you felt. Stop expectations from their eyes. You can't afford to lose all your wonder. Recall you forced yourself inside. Now's your chance to gently recover. All along the changes felt like dying leaves, and now you shaking like a little tree. You're restless. You're waiting on the spring to test this. All to all the rage you came to and breeze, and now you're sentimental for the ways that you missed. They passed you 'cause you've been so past you. You're watching for your chance to stay in the present tense. You'll find that this time you'll not be so inclined to avoid the test of where you're going. Enjoy not knowing. You're watching for your chance to stay in the present tense. You'll find that this time you'll not be so inclined to avoid the test of where you're going. Enjoy not knowing what to tell.
Joe Burke here on Music on the Menu with a song called Present Tense. And before that, one of the newer tracks from Joe and Company, a tune called Fire, which we debuted, I think, around Christmas time. You dropped that one, Joe?
Yeah, December 4th.
Yeah, I thought so. AJ's hanging out here with us as well. And in addition to his, his work with Underground Saints and King Radio, which we've been playing here on the show for years, he's got a great project called the Mule Team, which a lot of you have probably caught over the last year or two. They did a really cool event last summer in the middle of COVID with the Rockin' the County series, where they drove through the streets of Pittston on the back of a truck. That was pretty cool, AJ. Did you have fun with that?
Yeah, it was a little scary though. I'm not gonna lie. You know, at the first turn we took, everybody kind of like was like, "Whoa, we got to sit down. We can't really stand for this." But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
And you got some. And so that was last year. So we don't want to think about it anymore. We're turning the corner, and you've turned the corner in a big way with the venue that you manage, Carl Hall, and you announced a terrific lineup of summer music. You want to talk to us a little bit about the dates and who you've got coming up, where people could come out and see live music at your venue in downtown Wilkes-Barre?
Absolutely. The series is called Out Back at Carl Hall because it is directly behind the building that the venue is in the parking lot directly behind the building. We start Memorial Day Sunday with Dustin Douglas and the Electric Gentlemen, The Tribe, Bob Lewis, Brendan Brisk Band. That's Sunday, May 30th. All these shows, gates are at 2:30, and the show starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. These are all afternoon shows. Then following a couple weeks later, June 13th, we have Brett Alexander and friends, and special guest Ellie Rose. It's going to be fun. A lot of different folks playing with Brett. July 11th, we have Miz featuring the Mule Team. Mule Team's going to back Mike up as his band. We're also going to play an opening set too, and Mike will sit in with that. August 15th, Tiger's Jaw playing an acoustic show with A Fire with Friends, doing a reunion. They haven't played in a long time. And Langan, Frost, and Wayne, Brian Langan's new group out of Philadelphia, also features the keyboard player of Dr. Dog. August 29th, University Drive, Toothless, Gods of Space, Machine Arms. September 12th, Rosary Guild, Modern Ties, Joe Burke and Co., and Noxon.
Nice.
And to round things off, September 26th, Bunny Lane and the Virgos, Life of Riley, Stay Loud, Wicked Glare, and Little Star Run, a bunch of the good underground folks that hail from some of the hardcore scene on that bill.
What a great lineup. Congratulations on making it through a brutal year and putting together something really special for this summer. With all those tickets available through the Carl Hall website?
Yes, and Eventbrite.com. You could get tickets through Eventbrite.com. All the links for every show are on Carl Hall, but then it takes you right to Eventbrite.com.
So many of those artists AJ just mentioned are staples here on the show on Sunday night, so you're probably familiar with quite a few of them, and you could get out and see them live this summer in downtown Wilkes-Barre at Carl Hall. Here's another tune from Joe Burke and Company. This one's called August.
Tested words in a little prayer, bent my nerves to a champagne stare. As I pace down the dark hall, in my mind I'm losing track of how to keep calm. Tied to correspondence, restless heart, my only constant. A long pause amid the chaos, the kind of smile that could save us. Did it play out in the best way, or did I ask on the wrong day? Brief and quick to the point now, hoping she'll help me somehow find some peace in the season. Changing leaves and sleeve lengths, patiently by my desk with a pencil, paper, and wandering thoughts. Will I be waiting for such a long time to see that she'd never be mine? Will I find that there's something more to a first glance through a that I could overcome. A slow retreat from an honest bed. She hasn't even answered yet. Keep my sense towards a true north. A solid risk could be reward. If he but introspection convince me to put my sense in. Like the treetops and contacts. Serious if you're about that. Now I wish I could rewind this exact moment in time. The first glance through a window, it's sundown. You wave me dressed down to the ground, then smiles awfully sure and long. Whoa, no way am I playing in some game. Loving just knowing your name, but I hope to hear from you soon. How the first glance through a window, it's sundown. You wave me dressed down to the ground, and smiles awfully sure and long. Oh, no way am I playing in some game. Loving just knowing your name. I hope to hear from you soon. On silent nights, dying for dreams that might have visions of someone to right my wrongs. To be summer days, to be careless ocean waves, caught in the dust from every door I've shut. I'm always close, purple with complex over and over you. Certainly confident, sleeping on your back. Can't avert your eyes, moments that you love. You ignore the craze and brave the play impatiently aware that you've been caught before, middle of despair and breaking all and on the ground. Softly, slowly, hope tongues and resounds. Whiskey drenched cotton candy elation, needling through a lethal agent. Sinful tales of majestic missteps, moronic fails given what I suggest. I'm always close, purple with complex over and over, yeah. Certainly confident, sleeping on your back. Can't avert your eyes, the moments that you lacked. You ignore the craze and brave the play impatiently through my aimless stare allows streets of engagement with moments of longing, respect, and still growing. It's cold on this pavement, the dark and these statements steeped in how I'm in amazement. I can feel what I felt with a pain that won't melt. And if I could see them in the ways that I want, and now I want this now. But in my embrace of all the times that I fell, I have found that I have grown.
Joe Burke here on Music on the Menu, a song called Pavement. And before that, another one from Joe called August. That was one of the first tracks that we played here on the show a couple of years ago. Now, we've played two new ones tonight on the show so far, Roads, which we kicked off the program with, and Fire. and we're going to close the show a little bit later with another one of the more recent releases. But even though we've got 3 new songs from you in recent months, there's more to come, right? You're going back in the studio shortly?
Yep. Getting back in the studio for sure. We have another song that we'll release towards the end of the summer, which is the same lineup of musicians and all that and recording setup. And yeah, we're going to have a music video to go along with that one as well. And I guess a week from, when we're recording this, we're going to be AJ and I are getting together with Brett to do pre-production on 4 new songs.
Terrific. And you'll be doing that. Do you do the pre-production at Saturation and then the rest at 8 days a week, or do you float in between the two studios? We've had quite a few artists here because Brett and Paul have that great relationship that have been working at both. I was kind of curious how that works. What do you do stuff here in Saturation and some down there, or does Brett go down there? How does it work?
He does, and of course, when it was kind of normal flow, all these songs were done before we were shut down by any means. We do the pre-production now at Carl Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's kind of a mix. Like I did the vocals for every track, and we did the drums for every track down in Northumberland at 8 days a week with both Paul and Brett. And then I did a lot of the guitar and piano work and other instrumentation. And Mark did the bass down at Saturation 8.
Terrific. So. We look forward to hearing that. Make sure you send it that way.
Absolutely.
This is a song I absolutely love. We play this one on the show all the time. It's from Joe Burke. It's called Gray.
Chasing time like I've got some to waste. Writing rhymes thinking they'll fix my pace. Praying hard, I put the great love on it. Great love on my road. Selling my confidence in childish ways. Timidly searching through the blue and the gray. But I get lost in what I am saying. Quarter past and I want some kind of peace with this heart in a street love. And our basic tries to believe that I'm fine and not so tall. There's no place like home. Standing up, colors go and I get lost. She says uncertainty abounds in my eyes. I say she's right, but it still helps me decide. Oh, tangled up in searching each day. Quarter past and I want some kind of peace with this heart in a street love. And our basic tries to believe that I'm fine and not so tall. There's no place like standing up. Colors go and I get lost.
Hi, folks. This is Joe Burke, and you're listening to Music on the Menu with Alan K. Stout on the River.
In a dream, I sat with folks around a table somewhere unknown but found. Some couldn't wait to make a sound. Da 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 da. Familiar face wore pricey blues, sunglasses, hair slicked in boots. He walked away one reason to show off, and the children conspired. Question is desire, said he's not our type, so he can't be alright. The true smiles and the kind words knocking them over. Wherever you go to each is a her own. Oh, and you stray from what's around you, sitting alone and wondering what you have done. Think they're all so self-enchanted, seeing that one is so much more than their stunts. Bring you lights, la 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 la, la 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 la. He set some candy on the tabletop. The ends clean what someone had dropped. Well, every face continued to stop and wonder why they ever conspired. Question is desire, though he's not our type. Think he could be alright. Now the true smile and a kind word, his trial is over. Wherever you go to each is a her own. Oh, and you stray from what's around you, sitting alone and wondering what you have done. Think they're all so self-enchanted, seeing that one is so much more than their stunts. Bring you lights, la 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 la, la 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 la. Seems this dream remarkable, seen a gift for the 100,000 hours of screen, for a profound sight, some sense of right and wrong. Oh yeah, wherever you go to each is a her own. Oh, and you stray from what's around you, sitting alone and wondering what you have done. Think they're all so self-enchanted, seeing that one is so much more than their stunts. Bring you lights, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Joe Burke here on Music on the Menu with a song called Some Santa. Before that, Joe Burke and Company with a tune called Gray. We've been hanging out with Joe and A.J. Jump here for the entire hour, playing tracks from Joe's first record, Mystic Immediately, and also a couple of new tracks that he's recorded more recently. Gentlemen, thanks for coming in. It was great to see you both.
Thanks for having
And
us.
thanks, AJ, for the update on Carl Hall. Best of luck this summer.
Thank you.
Where can we find the music that we played tonight on the show for people listening on the radio if they want to go out and download some of these tunes? Usual platforms?
Yeah, usual platforms. Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music. They're on all of those, Amazon. And then Bandcamp, of course, if you want to help us out and pay for a song there, you can. But it's streaming everywhere.
Terrific. Make sure you go out and check out Joe's website. Follow him on Facebook. Follow Carl Hall on Facebook. And stay in tune with what both these guys are up to. They're both important people here in the local community. We have music and some talented guys. Great to see you guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for listening, everybody out there.
Thank you. We'll leave you with another one of the great newer tracks from Joe and company. This one's called Oak Tree. We'll catch you next Sunday night.
Mine moves in the mist of an early horizon. Sun shines on the bits that have always been hiding. The shed signs of residual mess like an old tree. Up straight, I can barely see over the dead leaves. So long, I'm sorry I'm stuck here. I cannot explain the reasons they're rising from under. I cannot escape. Changes and passing of time, 1,000 frustrations moving my mind. I'm at an age where I wanna have found some kind of rage that is forcing me out of the middle of cover the things I will always remember. Companions and a group that was born in December. And many relate to the game and the steps towards soul's relent. But hear the mistakes and the blame and a wish for springs ahead. Oh, so long. I'm sorry I'm stuck here. I'll try to reclaim the reasons where I found a thunder to help me escape.